So what's on tap for today, folks? It's another reaction video to one of our favorite senators, Senator Mike Lee, and he's talking to one of the feminists, leftist feminists from Planned Parenthood, who's saying that the Dobbs decision was fascism. That's right, folks, it's fascism, the Dobbs decision. Anyways, we're going to get right to that the next couple of seconds, but before we do so, just want to let you know you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest for today, the guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us, and let's get started, folks, because this is a great segment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's important we focus on what we're actually discussing today. We are talking about procedures that culminate in and have as their sole intended purpose the termination of a baby's life. These are babies. It's also important that we recognize, in response to those who have said that the Dobbs decision was somehow undemocratic, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, the Dobbs decision was a victory for Republican democracy. There really is no way to argue otherwise with any credibility. What the court did in Dobbs was to return this question of whether or in what circumstances abortion will be allowed, returning that back to the people and to their elected lawmakers. This is a decision that is not taken off the table by the Constitution. And because it's not taken off the table by the Constitution, it belongs to the people, who can exercise that decision through their elected lawmakers. The American people will now be able to say whether and in what circumstances and in what places abortion will be regulated. This is how Republican democracy in America works. This is how our republic was always intended and established to function.
And this is what makes us different, folks, than any other country in the entire world. We are the great experiment, and that experiment has been liberty, freedom, individuality, success, all right? Equal opportunities, but not equal outcomes, because that's never going to happen, folks. You're never going to have equal outcomes unless it's forced. But that's what this is. We are a republic, a constitutional republic, all right? And we elect people from within our communities to go to Washington, D.C. or to local offices. They make the laws. We decide whether or not as citizens we agree with them, we vote on them, we have our elected leaders vote on them, we send them with those leaders with those ideas that this is the kind of laws that we want, and those are the kind of laws that we want you to bring up and pass for us, or these are the laws that we don't like and we want you to vote against them. That's what this is all about. Anyways, let's continue.
Justice Alito, my former boss, in his well-written majority opinion, explained this point well. He said, quote, "Our decision returns the issue of abortion to those legislative bodies, and it allows women on both sides of the abortion issue to seek to affect the legislative process by influencing public opinion, lobbying legislators, voting, and running for office," close quote. That's at page 65 of the Dobbs majority opinion. Seems to me that the abortion industry and the left and those incumbent politicians whose campaigns are funded by the abortion industry have gone to great lengths to scare the American people, convincing them that Dobbs does something that it doesn't do. It saddens me that they're doing all of this for the cause of saying that it's okay, and in fact it's protected by the Constitution, to exterminate, to extinguish an unborn human life. Makes me wonder whether those making these scurrilous arguments are simply afraid of American Republican democracy, simply afraid of the American people, simply afraid that when able to make this decision on their own, freed from the judicial oligarchy that has reigned over this era, this area of the law for the last 49 years, that they won't make the same decision that the radical left would make. That seems to me to be the most plausible explanation for why they're so upset and why they're calling it undemocratic. Nothing could be further from the truth.
So basically what he's saying is that the left, the progressives, the moderates, those that want abortion on demand at any place, any time, any circumstance, doesn't matter. The more, the better, the merrier. They're afraid of this going through the process of becoming legalized or not legalized in the different states, depending on if the voters, the American people, vote on it. See, they don't want the American people to vote on it. They want this to be done by either executive fiat or legislative fiat, or by, judges or justices out there that are basically saying, you know what, we want to legislate from the bench. And that's what they want to do. They want to cram and ram this thing right down the throats without a vote, without any type of discussion, just have it issued like they did back in 1973. So it's a blanket law pertaining to everybody, every place, every time, every American woman across the United States. You're subject to this. That's what they want. They want it done because they're afraid that if this is put to a vote in the states, there are some states that are going to legislate it and give it a certain amount of time period for when an abortion can be done. And in some states, they might say, you know what, that's fine up until the time of pregnancy or beyond. But that's going to be left up to the states, the people, and the legislators, that decide to make those decisions. That's really what Mike is saying here. That's what the left is afraid of, though. They're afraid of us, the people, especially those in red states.
It's also important to note that this rain falls disproportionately on some communities. It falls disproportionately on some races more than others. Black babies are at greater risk of being aborted than white babies. A New York City Health Department report, one that was released just about 4 years ago, found that between 2012 and 2016, when this study was conducted, that Black mothers aborted 136,426 babies, while giving birth to only 118,127 babies. That's right, thousands of more Black babies were aborted than born in New York City during that relevant time period. It shouldn't come as a surprise as you consider that Planned Parenthood's founder, Margaret Sanger, was a big fan of eugenics. And her plans were not what anyone would want to defend today on that front. She's someone who wanted to, quote unquote, assist the race toward the elimination of the unfit. These are not laudable goals. Ms. Hawley, these reports on the Black women, the rate at which Black women in New York City are getting abortions, they're heartbreaking, they're breathtaking. I hope to see states enacting stronger protections for life, including, among other things, laws prohibiting abortions based on the race, sex, or disability of the baby. I hope these laws would protect all babies, including Black babies. So in your view, Ms. Hawley, is race, sex, or disability a valid reason for aborting an unborn baby?
Absolutely not. No one should be discriminated against based on their race or their sex or their genetic makeup. Certainly no one should be killed because of any of those factors. These are the sorts of laws that states have been attempting to pass to protect the most vulnerable citizens from fatal, lethal discrimination simply based on who they are or what they might look like. And this is what Roe has blocked states from doing. The people of the states were enacting, voting for lawmakers who would enact these good policies, and Roe was blocking it. But now the power has been given back to the people of the states to choose the sort of life-affirming, life-protecting policies that they want in their states and in their communities.
Mr. Chairman, I see my time's expired. I do want to note that what Ms. Hawley just said is very legitimate, and the doomsday calls from those on the left are ignoring common sense. They're ignoring what human instinct tells us about protecting the most vulnerable among us. Members of this committee, including some who are now attacking the Dobbs decision, once shared these views. So, Mr. Chairman, as I wrap up my remarks, I ask unanimous consent to submit for the record a copy of a letter that you wrote on August 4th, 1989, in which you said, among other things, quote, "I believe we should end abortion on demand," and quote, "I continue to believe this."
So there we have it, folks. This is the way that American democracy is supposed to work in a constitutional republic. The decision of Dobbs has sent it back to the states, whereas now up to the people of those states, electing legislators, people that will go and vote for what it is that they want. If states certainly want to go ahead and have abortion on demand, that's fine. If those states decide that that's how they want to vote for it and make laws, and the people, and those laws are passed in those states, and in those states where people do not want abortion on demand or want to have restrictions on the abortions at time periods, they will put those into laws, and they will go ahead and implement those laws according to what is passed. And then the judges need to just basically sit on their butts and follow the letter of the law and not emanate any type of judicial verbal diarrhea on their own. They follow the letter of the law, and they do not legislate from the bench. That is not their job. They're judges. Their job is to judge the law, and as long as it's found to be constitutional, they need to apply that law. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. We hope you enjoyed as much as we did in making it. And once again, you're watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I was your guest host for today. My name is Dr. Nasir, and we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. You know what to do. And I'll leave you with my final thought, folks, which is when you're right, you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.